What's up, everybody? Um, Today is, what is it, January 18th at 8:20 in the morning. Um, just getting back at it from after Martin Luther King Day. Um, Worked for 4 or 5 hours yesterday, got some good stuff done. I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to do a video update today because I've I'm home every day and I have plenty of time to get stuff done, but I still feel like I just don't have enough time. I'm enjoying the heck out of what I'm doing, and this is amazing, and I love every second of it, and it's been incredible, but I still feel like I just don't have time. So I'm just going to try and make this kind of quick, but give you an update on how things are going, what I'm doing, and yeah, we'll start there. So I started this little journal, or at least it turned out to be that. That wasn't the intent in the beginning, but it's turning into that. I got this from Christy. I mentioned that in another post, and I've just started keeping track of what I'm doing every day, and it was originally just so that I could keep track of what I wanted to do the next day, because I stop at 5:30, and I want to know what I want to remember what I want to get done that next morning. So I just started putting in here what I'm going to do the next day, and it's kind of turned into this cool little journal where I'm keeping track of everything that I'm doing and every day that it's getting done. I started putting in a couple of times, like, oh, this took a couple hours, that took a couple hours. It's kind of neat. So last Monday I purchased some software to help with website design, and that's been fun to learn. I'm finding that I often get frustrated by not. I feel like I want something to work a certain way, and I get frustrated when it can't. And what I'm having to remind myself or teach myself is that I can't necessarily do it the way that I want to. I need to do it the way that the tool will allow me to do it. And so that's something that I'm learning and having to remind myself constantly throughout this process through the design process, is that I have a vision of how I want things to be, and it's important to me for it to be that way. But at the same time, I have to work within the confines of the tools that I'm given, and the money constraints. Because if I had unlimited money, I'd hire somebody to do it the way I wanted it to, but I don't. I'm trying to do it myself. So the functionality will still be there, the cleanliness will still be there, the efficiency, it'll all still be there. It'll just be a little bit different than I had originally planned, which is fine. But so learning that program has been fun. Wrote some blog articles, created some buyer personas, and did some competitor research last week. That was fun. It's really interesting to try and dive into who you think your target audience and market is going to be, and understand that a little bit, and then see what tools they're already using, and see what the competition might be doing better than what you were thinking you were going to provide, and see what they're missing. And from the research that I did last week, it's pretty positive in my favor that I don't see anybody trying to do what I'm trying to do. Hopefully that doesn't mean that nobody cares about it, and it means that people just aren't doing it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that was on Monday last week. I did a bunch of that. And then worked on the site map for the website, what all the pages, what the workflow is going to look like. That's been interesting because it's a challenge to try and come up with how the flow is going to be on the website. There's so much I want to present, but yet it needs to be within just a couple clicks. So I have to think of what makes sense. I'm creating what makes sense in my brain, and then once I get everything flushed out and dialed in, I'll phone a friend and hopefully get some people to help do some testing and trials on the site and tell me what sucks and tell me what works. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm anxious to get to that. One of the reasons I make this video instead of typing stuff out, because I want to get back to what I'm doing. So let's see. I learned about Adobe XD last week, which is pretty amazing. Adobe XD allows you to create site design, and it's similar to a Photoshop or Illustrator layout where you have kind of like artboards, but you have artboards for screens. You can have an artboard for a desktop screen or an iPad or iPhone or Android. They've got all these predefined templates, and then you can drag in elements, menus, headers, titles, text, graphics, all these things that you would find on a web page, and you can create groups of them that are then reusable throughout all of the other pages and make them templates so that when you make a change here, it changes everywhere. And then what's really neat about it is that you can then plug in your phone to your computer, download the images, and then navigate through the site. And the part that I forgot to mention, you can make those elements clickable. You can make the menus actually function. They can actually drop down and function like they're supposed to. You can click on a menu item and it'll take you to that next page. You can say if you wanted to transition, swipe left or right or dissolve, or it's really incredible, and it's part of the Adobe suite. If you pay for that, $50 a month. If you do the yearly, $90 per month if you don't. And it's really incredible when it comes to site design, and really allowed me to visualize what I had, was trying to accomplish, and really, it was really incredible. Let's see. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday last week I had a tough day. And it's so silly because I was just trying to mess with this menu item, but it made me so frustrated that I was like, you know what, I want to find a different way of doing this. I went into this venture thinking that I wanted to use these forms to create a website, a web app, and it's been working great. But I got really stuck on this one thing, and I was so frustrated, and I ended the day frustrated, and I just tried to set it aside for a minute, and I guess I came back to it, that night, and was like, why am I so upset about this one design element that I'm thinking, I started to research, should I do this in a mobile app, I phoned a friend of mine, I messaged a friend of mine and said, hey, how difficult is it to do a mobile app? And through a couple quick back and forths, he's like, yeah, it's not going to be easy. So I was like, all right, well, I guess that's not happening. So, but I just quickly realized after that, like, why am I so frustrated about that one design element? That doesn't negate everything else that's going to happen with this. I just need to find a way to do it differently. And then sure enough, the next day I came in here and I did. And then I was back to, feeling good about it. And it's the roller coaster, right? It's feeling awesome one day and things are going really well. And then the next day I'm struggling to try and do something. And then, you feel like, oh, it's not going to work. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then you find a way through it. And that's the resiliency, and part of the reason I backed myself into this corner of quitting my job is that, like, I have no other option now. This is going to work. It has to work. I want it to work. I think it's going to bring value to a lot of people. And it's pretty neat. I'm a lot more excited than I am scared of this process because I don't know if I believe in myself or the product or what, but I just have this belief that everything's going to work out. So I hope that's true. Yeah, and on Friday, that's the morning I came in, and I wrote in here, KISS, keep it simple, stupid, do things as simply as possible, stick to the basics, stick to the foundation and the core, and don't live out here right now, because I got all these ideas of things I want to get doing. I find myself getting off track, and, when I talk to Shane, he talks about critical path, and I remember that conversation, and there's a critical path for the core product that I'm trying to design, and I've got all these neat features that I want to do, and I need to test those a little bit to see if, the functionality is going to exist for what I want to create, but I don't need to flesh them out completely and design them, and I just need to test some functionality once in a while, and I have to be very careful about getting out to those fringes and then bringing it back into the core critical path of what I'm actually trying to accomplish, and keep it simple. So that's been really positive to see and acknowledge for myself that I am doing that. I'm recognizing that I'm getting out here and into the weeds, and I need to bring it back in. That software Trello, or however you pronounce that, Trello. That has been incredible to keep on task. This has been working out really well. I think that's one of the struggles I could see for a lot of people is not, you're kind of like this, there's so many different things that you could do and ways that you can do things. It's hard to know what the right path is, but keeping it simple, documenting where you want to go, how you want to get there, and then changing that as necessary after you do your research and find out what your platform is capable of producing. Some of that will need to be tweaked, but you still have your core end goals that you're trying to get to. How you get there may differ a little bit, but you're still going to the same place. And I think that's really important to pay attention to is where are you going and why, and documenting that so that if you get stuck with a question, you come back to that. It's kind of like that buyer persona. When you aren't sure how to design something, you think about what the customer's going to want. You don't think about like how I want it to be done. I think how are they going to interact with the product or what's best for them, because ultimately it's their experience that matters, not how I feel about it at all. It needs to be best for them, not for me. So, so that was all last week. Yesterday I created all the social accounts. That was interesting. I got stuck on Instagram. I've had this idea that I'm working on now since 2015, and I created some pages for it, and I couldn't get into an Instagram one, and it was frustrating me so much because it was sending me the reset password and it wasn't showing up in the email, and I tried to contact Instagram, and you can't. There's no way to talk to a live person. At any rate, like 30 hours later, after I created the email account that was associated with that again, I finally was able to get that reset password and got in there. That was a big win yesterday. Because the name is so important on social media. You need to have something that is kind of exact if you can, and I got it, because I already had it. So that was really neat, setting up all the social accounts. So that's kind of it for last week. Something else I wanted to talk about was just kind of home life around here a little bit and how things have changed and what's going on. For me, staying at home has been amazing because I'm working. I come up here at 7:30 every day. I see the kids off to school. Sometimes I'll take Statham to the bus or I'll take him to school. Christy leaves at 7:30 when the kids aren't here, say goodbye to her, and then the dog and I come up here and she goes to sleep and I start working. And I'll take a break to stretch my legs around 10 o'clock just because I can't sit in this chair all day. And then maybe I'll go get a snack. I'll come back up here. It's only a few minutes that I do that, and then lunch around noon, like normal, go downstairs, make something to eat, come back up here. I don't stay down there. I eat and come back up. There's no reason to hang out. Get back to work, and then I'm usually done by about 4:30 or 5 in time to make dinner for Christy when she gets home and the kids when they get home. Emery shows up at 2:30. I go pick up Statham at 4. It's really nice being able to have that flexibility, but yet still maintain my focus and get stuff done. When Emery gets home at 2:30, she'll come up, we'll chat, I'll ask her about her day, and then it's like, all right, it's time for you to go read or go do something not on electronics. And then I get back to work, and then at 4, I go pick Statham up, we talk about his day on the way back home, and then I get back to work, and he goes and reads for a while. He's very anxious for me to get off the computer at 4:30 because he wants to play his Fortnite, which is fine. He comes home and reads for a while. But overall, I'm just so much less stressed than I was before. I didn't realize how stressed out I was until I'm not now. I've got this great workspace that I've created here. I've got the gaming computer, dual monitors, good keyboard and mouse setup, windows to look out of, which I did not have at my last place. I was stuck in this closet office with no windows, no natural light. It was horrible. Now I've got windows to look out of, which is really incredible. I can't wait for the summertime to open these bad boys up and get some fresh air. It's going to be amazing. I keep the house cold all day. It goes down to like 63, 65 because I'm not trying to incur any more energy costs just because I'm here. So I've got my electric blanket here to put around my legs because my feet get cold all the time. And that kind of leads me into like, now that I'm not bringing in any income, we have pared down all of our bills quite a bit. We started that in November, practicing what it's going to be like not having that money. We pared down our grocery spending. We got rid of all of our erroneous bills that we didn't necessarily have to have. And we've pared that down to as small as we possibly can. We still have some donations that we give to a charity that we like to do. We're keeping our Netflix. $15 a month is tolerable. But like food, we're trying to keep it to $100, $150 every 2 weeks. So right now we go to the grocery store and Statham will have a calculator, and every time we buy something, we weigh all our fruit now, we weigh all our vegetables, we calculate it out, he puts it in the calculator, and when we get to $100, we're done. And then we start looking at our cart and we're like, all right, do we need this stuff or do we want something different? And I love that experience myself, because it really makes you question, like, do I need this and am I buying the right things? And like last time we needed peanut butter, but it's like $7 for peanut butter, and we had other stuff we needed, so we didn't get peanut butter. So this time we will go and get peanut butter, and you just kind of shuffle things around a little bit, but you are prioritizing what you need. And I think it's an excellent exercise for the kids too, to understand that you don't, it's frivolous to buy the things you want and not evaluate the need. It's really important to do that, whether you have unlimited amounts of money or not. It's wasteful if you don't do that. So, and not responsible. So that's really exciting for Christy and I both enjoy that, and I think it's an extremely valuable exercise for the kids. And I am definitely 110% that dad. I love teaching my kids and showing them things, and that this whole thing is really helping. I just love all of that. So less stressed, focusing on finances. YouTube TV expired Sunday at 5 o'clock, right before the 5 o'clock football game, which was funny. We're just getting ready to watch it, and then it oh, you don't have a subscription anymore. So we didn't watch that. Oh no, we did watch that 5 o'clock game another way. But we didn't do it through YouTube TV. And our YouTube TV's gone. So now we're not going to have TV. We're paying for a CBS Paramount subscription, $6 a month or whatever, so we can watch the news, and there's some other shows, but we're going to try not to watch TV during the week anymore. I'll let you know how that goes, because we've been a pretty big TV family, unfortunately, but we're going to try and do other things. And do stuff as a family more, instead of sitting around the television and doing that. So that's the goal. So talked about food and shopping a little bit. During the day for lunches, I'm eating whatever's cheap and easy at the house. Literally, I will make rice for the week and I'll have that, or I'll make pasta, or I'll have potatoes, or whatever's cheap. Like, that is all I really care about right now, because that's what matters most to me. We're not hurting for money. We've got several years worth of money. That's not a problem. But I don't want to spend it. I want to be earning income. I want to get flush as soon as I can. I've allotted myself January and February at least to not worry about making money immediately, to focus on what I want to get done and see what happens with that. But if I don't see the potential to start bringing in some type of income within the next 3 or 4 months, I'm probably going to start spending at least every other Friday, if not every Friday, generating income of some kind. It doesn't need to be, thousands of dollars, but it does need to be enough to cover a little bit of extra stuff. So just so I feel better about it, like right now we have years and years and years worth of money that we don't need to worry about, but I still want to bring in money so that it's not even a thought. Like, I don't see my savings going down. I don't want that to happen. I want it to stay right where it is, and everything to, just stay flush all the time. That's the goal. So we'll see what happens. Couple months, 2 or 3 months, let this go. I'm going to focus on this and do nothing else all the time, and then see where we're at. February, March, well, probably more like March. See what's going on. I think that's about it. I could talk for hours probably, but I want to get back to what I'm doing. I'm really excited still. Things are going really good. It's still low stress. Yeah, I can't. I just feel like I still feel this is what I was meant to do. This is 110% Tyler, what I should be doing with my life. Even if this blows up in my face and I don't do anything, I will have enjoyed this process. And, you know, the monetization of what I'm trying to create is really not even a thought in my mind as I'm doing it, because even if I were to win the lottery today, I would still do this because I believe in it. I think it's going to bring a lot of value to people's lives. It's going to change people's lives. You know, in one of the books that I read, and it, you know, talks about shooting for the stars, and if you hit the moon, that's good. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I would love to change the world with this app. That's incredibly ambitious for one person, but you know what? Everybody started out as one person, and I don't. It's difficult for me to believe that I could have that type of possibility for me, because I guess I don't believe in myself that much to be able to do something like that. But at the same time, I feel like everybody started by themselves at one point with an idea, and you know, even if I'm shooting for the stars and I don't change the world, if I change some people's lives with this product, that's good enough for me. But I'm shooting high. And on that note, I'm gonna call it quits. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll do another one of these in another week or so. Thanks.